Good morning, y'all. It's Sunday morning. It's February the 12th, and I'm Rachel. I'm gardening for butterflies and for myself on the Alabama Gulf Coast in Zone 9A. And it's 46 degrees out here right now with a 20-mile-an-hour northwest wind blowing. And surprisingly, the sun's been coming in and out from behind the clouds. So it's a little chilly, it's a little windy, it's a little bitter. I've been fighting a sinus infection all week, so blah, but I'm feeling better now. Luckily, before I got sick, I drug some plants out and was trying to kind of arrange them in the garden in a kind of, well, I'll just show you what I've been doing. There are 3 views that I'm going to focus on that I've discovered that I enjoy seeing more than anything, and that's in front of the arbor. I haven't done anything because, of course, we are having, cold weather. I don't want to try to start anything until the threat of frost is over, which will probably be, by the end of February. But one thing that I started working on, an idea that I had that I'm interested in doing, is I want to have an herbaceous border, double border, right here on this side and this side, and have a path going up through the middle. And I'm going to get a cute bench right here. It's not going to be these 2 chairs, but I put those 2 chairs there because it's going to be kind of that size. And I was just kind of playing with this, and an idea struck me this morning that what I'll probably do is, and I didn't have a chance to do it, but maybe work on trying to do kind of like a forced perspective, like being wider here and narrowing there all the way to the end to make it kind of look like it's a bit longer than it is. And also, the other reason I thought I would do that is I want to be able to see all the plants. I always do. I want to see all the colors and all the just texture and anyway. So that's what I'm going to focus on and just play with and try, because what's fun about having everything in pots is if I don't like it, I just move it. And that's, I keep telling myself, I keep repeating all the good things about having to have everything in containers. So that's one of the views. This is the other view that I wanted to work on, the view through the arches. And then the other view is this one. I put the bird bath right here, right in front of the window, and I was able to keep the window open when I was sick, just lying in bed for 2 days. And birds came up and got in the bird bath. And then I was able to see, this from the window, which I really appreciated. I just enjoyed being able to see all that color gathered right there, and it just gave me more ideas on how to arrange this. And of course, I'm going to want to put a lot more plants in here, but I didn't want to get out all of my plants because I'm going to probably have to move them back since they're threatening pretty cold temperatures on next Saturday. But I brought my nasturtiums out of the potting shed and hung them up here. And look at this, I have 2 blooms. They were so cheerful to be able to see them through the window. And these are the climbing nasturtiums, although, these in this pot, they're going to just probably drape down. And then some of the pansies are blooming in the pots. I'm going to, of course, bring that back in when it gets really cold, but I'm really enjoying being able to see that from the window, because I was so used to seeing greenery like hanging from this because the passion flower vine used to be so big right here. I've got a bunch of seedlings coming up from when I threw out tons of pansy seeds. You can see right there. Also, I threw out a bunch of agastache seeds, and now I've got a bunch of seedlings coming up. I hope that they won't be dug up from armadillos or anything, but and then I discovered something else that was super cool. So I had that sedum, it's in the potting shed right now. I've got 2 of them, but at one point, this is where I had it in the garden, and a piece of it must have fallen out of the pot, and look, it's just growing here. I did not know that it was that easy to make new plants. So that's super cool. That gives me an idea. I'm going to see if I can make some more sedum, but I'm really enjoying these colors, just all gathered together. I would like it if they were like more overflowing the pot, so I didn't have to see really that they're in individual pots. But some of the pansies that I started from seed are starting to flower. Here's one of them. Oh, isn't that just so lovely? Now this one I started from seeds. These I didn't. I bought these at Lowe's. But this one I started from seed. Oh, I think that's one of those frizzle sizzle ones. Isn't that just gorgeous? Let me get in closer. Oh, wow. So pretty. And I also threw out like 1,000 of the black pansy seeds, and last year I really enjoyed those. I hope that they'll just come up interspersed throughout the yard, but I'm so surprised that this Salvia leucantha is flowering. Don't you love the velvetyness of the flowers? They're so soft, they just melt under your fingers. It's just, oh. So this is my color palette right here that I'm really enjoying. And something that I want to add more of that I really like is just kind of silveryness, kind of like this Dusty Miller. I love that standing out. And something I'm excited about, and I'm going to show you, are the carrots, because once the carrots start flowering and I'm going to intersperse them in with this, that is going to be so spectacular. Now for the most part, the carrots that I planted, they're all feathery and lovely. I love the greenery on them, but I was like, when am I going to get the flowers? And now I think I have one that looks like it's going to flower. That's what this looks like to me. See how this thick stalk coming up? That looks very promising. So I'm hoping that the other ones will start doing that soon, because I, put a lot of carrots in these pots. I got a lot. I'm banking on them. Those back there look like they might be about to flower too, possibly. So just imagine that feathery whiteness just kind of sticking up out of everything. So that's exciting. And I started, some seeds, which I am terrible at starting seeds. But look at this. They're coming up. It's a miracle. I mean, just like an actual miracle. Let's see who's being the happiest. This is Gomphrena. So Gomphrena really looks like it's gonna do well. Also, asters. Wow, who knew? Never tried them. So, and then the foxglove is this right here. Look at it. I mean, the seeds are so tiny. I was trying to put few in, but look, I mean, it's hard to do. But I was going to show y'all, I also have some, got to push this out of the way. Oh, zinnias. It looks like the zinnia Enchantress didn't do it all. You can see there's nothing in there, but the other ones are going to be good. And I'm also trying to grow some obedient plant from seed, but it looks like none of those have come up. So I'm going to try that again. So since I have so much sedum growing out of this pot and the other pot, and it seems like if you just break it off and just sit it on some dirt, you can make more. Who knew? That's how I learn stuff, actually, just by accident most of the time. But so I'm going to see if I can make more of those, because I love don't you love how this red is just set off by the sedum in the background? That color is just so fun. That's one of my favorite colors. I'm going to be putting that all through the garden. I just like for it to be very bright, maybe even almost garish. I've been working on potting up some of my cuttings into bigger pots, and I've ran out of like potting soil. Actually, I ran out of pots. I should have bought some more, but I'm going to need bigger ones, because this is that Amistad, and at one point I thought it was going to die. It looked so pathetic, And of course some of them did not really make it, but look, it's looking great. So I've got to pot that up. I know they're going to need some big pots. And then these are looking so sweet with their little curly leaves. I do not remember whether those are ones that I started from seed. And I wanted to show y'all, I'm so thankful. And that's that Salvia lacantha. Isn't it great? Isn't it just fabulous? I mean, it wants to live from cuttings. So I'm so grateful that I took cuttings and just tried it, because I'd never done it before, of this passion flower vine, since all of mine was decimated by the freeze. Some of it's coming up, but look at that sweet little new leaf. Wow, look at that. That's so cool. Oh, look. Is that a flower? That's not a flower, is it? Huh. I don't know. But I'm going to wait to plant these out until the fear of frost is over. This princess flower is just like the happiest thing. I have been enjoying it so much. Now, it cannot stand temperatures below 40 degrees. So it doesn't like full sun, but it seems to really like being in front of this window. I mean, my goodness. It's been enjoying that. A friend of mine gave me this, and she had gotten it from a piece of a fern that I had at work. And this is the fern, and it's just very sad right now. I cut it in half and repotted it. Some of it looks like it's coming back, but this one looks incredible. I'm thankful that it's still alive. And then this maidenhair fern, I can't seem to make it happy. It looks happier right here, kind of not in as much light. So I've almost killed it, and then it's come back to life, and then almost killed it again. It's very resilient, just doesn't look super happy. So the crazy kale, well, the fennel's coming back, and this kale looks pretty good. And then these are looking, not so great. And then the kale in the tiny pot looking amazing. Looking so amazing. But look at how it's curved right there. Oh, I didn't even mention. Now, remember when I just broke off some pieces of the rosemary in the front yard and stuck it in here and was just kind of hopeful that some of it would make it? Well, some of it has made it. This one especially looks really good. So I'm going to have, just from plunking a few sticks of rosemary in these pots over the winter, it looks like, maybe I shouldn't count my rosemary before I repot it, but it looks like 1, 2, 3, I'm just going to count those 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe not that one, and then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 new rosemary plants for just doing, just plunk it in here. You know what? It took probably like 5 minutes to clip those and then just stick them in here and just leave them over the winter. So that's super cool to get to make that many plants, and it looks like they're going to make it. And then just here's a random collection of pots that I didn't feel like dragging up to the main, because I'm going to have to bring them back into the potting shed next Saturday. There was no point in dragging it all. But look, this looks like, I think this is going to be some, not aster, phlox. I think this is phlox regrowing. And look at that. This is that pink, and it's native phlox. I have several of them like growing in the ground up in the yard that haven't been dug up, but I'm probably going to dig them up and put them in pots. And see this this coral nymph salvia, seeds have fallen into almost all of my pots, and so I'm going to have a ton of them coming up. They really want to grow here, and they grow so easily from seed. So that is a very fun plant to have. And these are just the salvia. I think it's a mystic spires. I can't remember. I never can. But I'm excited about all these grasses too. I've got these blue-eyed grasses. Now I've grown all of these from one grass that I bought, and I bought it at Cornucopia, and I had it in a pot, and then it was just overgrowing it, and I cut them in pieces. And I think I might have said something about that when I did it on a video several months ago. But isn't it amazing how you can just divide perennials and get more and more and more, or take cuttings? Because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of those blue-eyed grasses now, when I had just bought one. So that is really cool. And you know I want a jillion of everything, so I'm really thankful that I could get that in that way. Here's a plant that my mother-in-law gave me, and it has died back to nothing, and I thought it was dead, and then it came back, and so I've killed it. They should call this a Lazarus plant, because I've killed it like 3 or 4 times. Like literally, it looked dead as a hammer, and now look at it. It's got even flowers on it. That is a miracle. Talking about miracles, I have to show y'all this. This looked like a little dead stick for most of the winter, and it is actually coming back to life. It is. I didn't even bother watering it. It just got some random water from the plants next to it. But it's a Dutchman's pipe vine, or some kind of pipe vine. I think it's Dutchman's. So this is for pipe vine swallowtails, and I'm really thankful. I'm going to try to baby it, because I have killed almost every pipe vine I've ever had. Well, I have. I've killed them all, because I don't have any now except for this one. The doves, there's one on the bird bath right there. They're so aggravated with me because I'm out here and they want me to leave, because they think that this is theirs and only theirs. And here is a bloom from one of my salvia cuttings that has grown so big and healthy. And I put them in, and now they need to be in even bigger pots. Like they're out, they're going to be huge. They're going to grow probably like 4 feet tall. They could grow 4 feet tall and 5 feet wide. It would be so amazing to have like a hedge of this. And in the bog garden, I decided, upon further inspection and advice from others, to nip off what was in the center right here, because it was about to flower, this Venus flytrap, and I didn't want it to do that, because I don't really care about it flowering. I just want it to catch flies. The pitcher plants still barely holding on. You can see how tiny they are, because one day they are going to be huge, and I cannot wait for that day. This gentle Hermione has several buds on it, which is super thrilling. Ooh, look, this one is probably going to burst forth in a few days. So I'm just experimenting with this right now. So we've got a rose right here, and the roses, I would like for them to be interspersed with salvia, and because I just love seeing this. This is that Desdemona right here, and then the salvia right there. Just I like that a lot. But this area is going to need some tall things behind it, because I don't want to see like the garage and the other house and the fence. I'm going to try to block out that view with some tall stuff, but I'm excited about trying to have kind of like an herbaceous border. And I did look up the meaning of herbaceous border, because I was like, oh, wait a minute, I may not even know what that is. I might have the wrong idea of what it is. But it is. It's perennials in a bed. It doesn't have to be wide. It doesn't specify a length or a width. It's just a grouping of herbaceous plants that are designed to be together by color and texture, and so it seems like the rules are very loose. Another thing that's showing a miraculous bit of life to it is this Clematis, because I planted this last year and it never did anything. It was sad and pathetic, and I had some rocks around it to keep it from being dug up by the armadillo, but I gave up on it and I just took the rocks away. I was like, I don't even care anymore. I almost ripped it out of the ground, but I don't even know why I didn't do that. But look, it's showing signs of life, which is really miraculous to me. I'm so thankful for this garden, and just so thankful to God for doing all the work that He does to make things happen. I mean, there's just, He's in charge, and I just come out here and plunk things down, and I just leave it to Him, and it's between Him and the plants, whether they make it or not. But He has been so good to me. I am just so thankful, because having a garden and having things grow, for me, is just such a healing kind of thing. I'm so grateful to be able to come out here and sit and listen to the birds and smell the roses and see the colors and the patterns and just what God's doing out here every day. I don't even have the words. Right here, I'm just really loving the way the pentas and the duranta and the coral nymph salvia look together, especially with the fallen petals of the coral nymph salvia on the duranta. It's just so magical. Everywhere you look, there's just a little slice of beauty and wonder to be had. Isn't this carpet of these plants so sweet? These and violets, just so lovely. Look at how pretty these flowers are. I've treated them like weeds, but they're just so pretty. So pretty. And the leaves on them are so pretty. I'm going to not tear them out anymore. I will tear this out though. I hate this. It's Bettany. For a while there, I liked it because the little grub-like looking roots are edible, but now I hate it because it just gets everywhere. This book, The Modern Cottage Garden by Greg Lotus, is really inspiring me. I'm just going to show y'all. It's got some, so gorgeous herbaceous borders in it that are just making me so happy. I just want to have all of this. This. Although, of course, for me, on a much smaller scale, but just, it's so lovely. Yeah, although I'm going to have a little bit more pink in mine than they have, but that's just so happy. Even talks about potted gardens, so I'm really enjoying it. And of course, it's my favorite, Pete Aldoff, talks about him in it. This just looks like a book that I'm going to read cover to cover. It's so lovely. Thank y'all so much for coming with me to look around my garden. It's thrilling that spring is almost here, and there's so many opportunities to enjoy being outside and enjoying God's creation. And I'm just so thankful that y'all have come and watched this with me. Y'all are so precious. God bless y'all. Y'all have a great week, and I can't wait to find out what's happening in your gardens. Bye.